Hello, Bio4, and welcome to the extensor muscles of the posterior forearm. So now we're going to look at all those muscles that are going to allow you to extend your forearm. So let's look at an overview first. This is what you're looking at, back of your hand, correct? Extensors. And there's a series of muscles that would be side by side like this. And here they're all named. So we'll do a bunch of them and then I'll go back to them individually. So in red here, we have this one that crosses the joint, and that is the Brachioradialis. And that, we always look for that one on the cadaver because that's kind of what's going to separate anything on this side of the Brachioradialis is an extensor, and everything on the underside here is going to be a flexor. That's how you can tell which is which. So coming over that joint, Brachioradialis. In blue, extensor, because now we're extending, extensor of the wrist, Carpi. On the radius side, Radialis, Longus. So this muscle here is, and ends right there, is extensor Carpi Radialis. Let me get my pen. Longus. Okay, this one here. And it ends right there. And then we're going to look at extensor Carpi Radialis Brevis. And it is the continuation of this one. And if you were to push this aside a little, you'd see it underneath too. So here, this is the extensor Carpi Radialis Brevis. Okay, now let's keep moving along, right? We got the Brachioradialis, extensor Carpi Radialis Longus, extensor Carpi Radialis Brevis, and in very much in the center, we have one that is going now, not a Carpi, because it's going to the digits. So if it's going to the digits and it's on the extensor side, it's an Extensor Digitorum. Extensor Digitorum. We continue along and we have another extensor of the wrist. It's not going to the digits. Notice how it's ending there. Extensor Carpi of the wrist, ulnaris on the ulna side or on the pinky finger side. And this last one we don't need to know. It's not on your list. Okay, so on your list, the first one visible is in blue here, extensor Carpi Radialis Longus. Okay, so let's go to that. Extensor Carpi Radialis Longus on the cadaver. And you'd be able to see it just there. Extensor Carpi Radialis Longus. I wish I could sort of rotate this a little bit more for you. And extensor Carpi Radialis Brevis. So notice that the Brevis here, let me go back. So if I could rotate this hand sort of that way a little bit, you'd be able to see more of the extensor Carpi Radialis Longus. It's a little bit hidden there. And next would be extensor Carpi Radialis Brevis. And then we would want to look at what's in the middle, in the center here. And that would be Extensor Digitorum. Extensor Digitorum coming to the digits. And then we're going to keep on moving that way. And moving in this direction then is going to be the extensor Carpi on the pinky side. So extensor Carpi ulnaris. Better picture of it there. And again in purple here, extensor Carpi ulnaris. So you do really see them in a row. You see them in a row as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now hiding down here, a tiny little guy here that's going to come just to the pinky in green there is the, oh, I don't have it on there. So that is the Extensor Digiti Minimi. Okay, so let's switch this to green so you don't get confused. And this guy here is Extensor Digiti Minimi. It's a tiny little thin muscle that's sort of wedged between these two, between the Extensor Digitorum and the Extensor Carpi ulnaris. And the way you would know that you don't have the right muscle is you follow that tendon along, and it's going to end up in the pinky and the little finger. Okay, good. Supinator. The supinator, if we move the other muscles away, you would have it in a diagonal view. And here is just the muscle on the bone, and it's going to be able to supinate. We had pronator teres, and the opposite muscle to that is the supinator on the extensor side. Two muscles we call the hitchhiking muscles. And those are still on the extensor side, a little deeper. We have to move these extensor digitorum out of the way to look. And do you notice we're moving these muscles out of the way? And under here, coming to the thumb, because you hitchhike with your thumb, are two muscles. One is the abductor pollicis longus, and the other is the extensor pollicis brevis. So we're naming them from this joint up here down towards the hand. So the one you see first, starts with an A, because A comes before E. So the first one is the abductor pollicis longus. And the second one is the extensor pollicis, because this means thumb. So both of them are coming to the thumb. The second one is brevis. The first one's longus, but don't forget that one is an abductor and one is an extensor. If it abducts, it means, hold your hand up, your palm like this. It means that you take your thumb and move it away from the palm. That's to abduct. To extend, you would have to flex your thumb a little bit and then unflex it, extend it. So that is the extension of the actual digit. The other one is the whole finger, all the digits here are moving away from the palm. If you were to just look at the muscle on the bone, you have an abductor pollicis longus and the extensor pollicis brevis. And that is the end of the extensors of the hand. So we only have one more video, and that would be just on a couple of the muscles which are on the arm, not on the forearm. Okay, thanks for listening.